Ganesha does not soften the blow. She tells Deculein that Yeriel does not share even one drop of Deculein blood, turning the family secret into a threat inside his own manor.
Yeriel was set to be a half-sister, and I already knew that much. But if she is not blood-related at all, then this is something the game never gave me.
The difference matters because Deculein has just handed Yeriel the house, and now the woman he tried to save may be tied to a deeper lie.
I have never heard anything about this. Is this really all right?
Ganesha explains that Deculein was the one who first asked her to investigate whether he and Yeriel had any blood relation. Yet even after learning the background was not what he expected, Deculein draws a clean line for himself. Yeriel is still Yeriel.
Knowing this changes nothing. My treatment of Yeriel will not change whether she is my biological sister or not.
When Ganesha jokes that he is surprisingly soft today, Deculein answers with the same cold logic. He already knew this kind of background existed. She promises to protect the secret about his sister, but before leaving, she brings up another danger moving outside the manor. The name is Six Snakeheads, a criminal organization powerful enough to move after auction house items and place millions of elna on the heads of anyone involved. Ganesha warns that they are not petty thieves. They are infamous, organized, and dangerous enough that even Deculein should keep his guard up. Their target is likely the auction hall, and that means the snowflare stone and the other expensive goods have made Deculein visible to predators. Deculein stays measured. If the auction house can deliver everything safely, he will simply protect the goods after they reach his residence.
It feels like I have been neglecting magical defenses lately. That is something I can put to use.
When Ganesha leaves, the pressure finally shows on him for a second. The information was useful, but it also proves Deculein is still missing pieces.
That was something I did not need to know, but now that I do, I have to carry it.
He returns to the same survival rule that has kept him moving since waking here. He is not the old Deculein, and one hidden truth cannot make him repeat that man. Yeriel will remain Deculein's sister in every way that matters, and the safest choice for now is to hide the bloodline truth. Far away under the night sky, another group speaks of Deculein as if his personality has been replaced by someone else. Around the campfire, Riley admits that Deculein feels different now, almost like another person is wearing his skin. Her companions laugh it off, teasing her for seeing sweetness in a man they still consider ugly inside, but the suspicion remains. Riley, Julie's relative and a member of the Red Garnet adventuring team, questions whether Deculein might have a human side after all. The team decides they do not need to watch Deculein anymore, though Riley still wishes she could ask whether he is searching for a magic slave. Before they leave, Riley adds one last warning. Whatever she has heard should stay secret. A protective barrier flares around the team, swallowing the camp in blue light as their conversation closes. The magic rises brighter, turning the hidden meeting into another sign that powerful groups are already moving around Deculein's name. The next day at the University Magic Tower, Deculein turns away from family secrets and outside rumors and focuses on a practical way to survive.
If I use the system store correctly, I can finally strengthen the qualities that keep me alive.
The store promises to raise mana quality, mana output, and efficiency, but the currency is limited and ordinary coin cannot buy it. The system currency can improve not only his player character, but also any named character, which makes every purchase a long-term route decision. There are only a few chances to use the store, and he may get only 6 opportunities before the second half of the story. Each level makes the next purchase cost twice as much, so wasting even one chance could cripple his growth later.
I cannot rush and waste this valuable opportunity.
Instead, Deculein trains the parts he can improve without spending store currency: memorization, physical conditioning, chi control, levitation magic, and sword work. Even with all that, one weakness still stands out. Compared to named villains, Deculein lacks combat strength.
For my own sake, I need more mana quality. I will hurry and gather the store currency I need.
Hello, Professor. I received this just now. Please take a look.
The report comes from the Wizard Journal, and the wanted notice points to Lockhart, the wizard killer whose movements near the outskirts are a direct threat to mages.
He is the greatest danger to mage players in the first quarter of the game, so this guy has started appearing. If I were still a normal mage, he would terrify me, but as I am now, he is not the immediate concern.
For Deculein, Lockhart may even become an opportunity, because becoming stronger sometimes means surviving long enough to meet the thing that should kill him.
There is no need to worry about the wizard killer. I will head to the library, so you should return as well.
Then Deculein turns the warning into a test for Alan, choosing the assistant in front of him as the next small investment.
Do you have any intention to become an assistant professor?
Huh? Well, of course. Do you mean you would recommend me as an assistant professor? But you always told me I lack talent.
Alan expects another insult, but Deculein frames the offer as a reward for the effort Alan has kept showing under pressure.
I ask because now I have seen how earnest you are. Enough questions. Take this. Continue to work hard.
Thank you very much, Professor.
The gift is a Euclid bangle, and Deculein expects it to push Alan's talent instead of letting him run away from fear. Deculein could not simply ignore someone who had endured his cruelty and stayed. Alan may be afraid, but his diligence is useful.
Turn in early for today and buy dinner with this.
This is too much.
Deculein leaves before Alan can refuse, moving toward the staff-only library where the next piece of his survival plan waits. Alan is left holding the bangle and money, stunned by a kindness that does not fit the Deculein he knows. Deculein enters the restricted library because of Luna's paper, the unfinished research he still needs to understand. The paper on pure elements is promising, but too many errors and gaps remain for him to use it cleanly.
If I can manage to add useful manipulation grimoires, this research may become something I can actually wield.
Why are you inside the staff-only library?
Debutant Sylvia?
Sylvia stands there with a book in hand, just as startled as he is, turning the private search into a new confrontation. 10 minutes earlier, Sylvia had not broken into the executive reading room for mischief. Professor Mia had sent her there to find rare study materials. The old professor treats her as the successor of Ilie and even jokes that this year's rookie mage should not be restrained. With permission granted, Sylvia is told to borrow freely from the library, and she walks in expecting a quiet search. Her real hobby is studying literature and languages, and she is hunting for an Epherene novel, a rare fairy language text whose value has only increased. The one person she never expects to find in that room is Deculein, the professor she already considers dangerous and humiliating.
Why are you in the executive reading room? Do you want the disciplinary committee to convene again?
I am looking for a certain document. Professor Reeling already gave me permission.
Deculein's answer means he and the librarian are both protected by school rules, so Sylvia cannot simply chase him out. Then Sylvia sees the blue book in his hand and flinches, because it is exactly the Epherene novel she came to borrow.
An Epherene novel? Your purpose in using the reading room was to find a novel written in Epherene?
It is because I am interested in literature and languages.
Sylvia tries to make the answer sound simple, but the book matters enough that she is willing to challenge a professor for it.
I will let it slide this time.
Send someone else to borrow a book next time. If you come here again without proper permission, I will take disciplinary measures.
He adds the cruelest part with a straight face. Unless Sylvia's goal is to flaunt her family's influence, she should stop coming herself. Sylvia grips the book hard enough to tremble. Deculein has not just corrected her, he has made her feel small.
I only wanted to understand the fairy language novel written in Epherene.
The humiliation stings worse because Epherene itself lacks consistency, making even a talented reader struggle with it. Outside, a practical training group moves through the forest, chasing tasks and materials under the Magic Tower's supervision.
This is their first practical training. Everyone seems composed, and they are not afraid of the mountain of darkness.
The Mountain of Darkness is a restricted forest near the university, both a training ground and a place of real danger. Students can gather materials there, but beasts, venomous creatures, and strict security make the mountain more than a classroom exercise. When the professor asks who should take the on-duty post, Deculein volunteers without hesitation.
I will do it.
The older professor praises him for showing what a professor should be, but Deculein is not doing it out of noble duty.
Something is falling from there. It must be why I received a side quest. What is about to happen in the mountain that turns this camp into another quest?
After packing up, the training party leaves Deculein behind at the post, and the mountain grows quiet. 9 hours later, far from the danger, Epherene and her friends celebrate at a cafe near the magic tower. They crowd around desserts like students finally getting a reward after pressure, and Epherene insists the treat is on her.
Of course I am buying. I have 100,000 elm.
Her friends mention a submitted application and call the money in advance, but Epherene is mostly happy that people volunteered for it.
So the way I heard there was a training session at the Mountain of Darkness today.
The light mood shatters when Julie and another student burst past them in a panic, rushing toward the mountain.
Did you hear that? Where did it come from? We need to check it out.
A desperate voice cries for help in the woods, pulling Epherene and the others away from the cafe and into the dark. Epherene reaches the source and realizes something is wrong. The person calling for help is not acting like a normal victim.
Stop.
Julie's name is almost spoken, but the moment breaks apart before anyone can understand who is standing where.
Where is this place?
Where is it, Freyden? What's on the side?
The calls continue from different directions, asking where she is and begging her to come help, as if the forest is using familiar voices.
Are you all right?
The shape in front of her twists into something monstrous, proving the plea was bait.
Kiar?
The scream is instinctive, and the moment after it is worse because the false victim is no longer pretending to be human.
What is that?
Epherene gathers magic in panic as she realizes someone or something is attacking.
Deculein.
She sees the professor before she understands the monster, so the first thing that rises is accusation.
Did you attack that woman just now? How can you attack a civilian?
Epherene speaks from fear, not certainty, and that gives Deculein only a breath to correct her before the demon moves again.
Open your eyes and look again. That is not a person.
His answer is blunt because explanation has to come second to survival. The illusion is still active, and the demon is still close.
It seems you were under an illusion, something that demons do.
The demon tries to drag her away, but Deculein cuts through the illusion and tells her not to interfere. The distance opens just enough for Deculein to separate prey from predator, forcing the demon to face him instead of the student it almost captured.
Do not interfere and get lost.
He throws Epherene out of the line of danger first, then turns his full attention to the monster that tried to use her.
Now then, it is time to hunt.
The demon loses its prey, and its fury turns fully toward Deculein.
Because it just lost its prey, it is furious.
A barrage of light cuts through the trees as Deculein begins the hunt with calm, precise pressure. He does not chase wildly. Each strike is placed to box the demon in, and every dodge shows him how the creature moves. The demon lunges and twists through the blasts, but Deculein keeps forcing it into the open. When it screams, Deculein watches the forehead instead of the claws, because the core is the part that will decide the fight. Its scream shakes the forest, but the fight exposes the core on its forehead and gives Deculein the answer he needs.
Its specialty must be illusions. My resolute resists mental attacks, but it is not perfectly effective against me. This lineage is making me endlessly furious. My blood is boiling.
The reason appears like a rule carved into his blood. The Deculein lineage purifies Mano against demons, raises its quality, and also makes the user more aggressive. Hostility toward demons, the old Deculein legacy, is now manifesting inside Deculein as an actual force. That legacy explains why the fight feels personal before he chooses it. The body remembers an enemy that Wu Jin only knows as a system condition. The demon before him is no longer only a monster, it is a trigger for family instinct, root mechanics, and a fury Deculein must control.
This rage is not ordinary anger. It is lineage pulling me toward the kill.
The demon charges again, but Deculein meets it head-on, pushed by a bloodline that refuses to let a demon survive in front of him. The clash becomes less like a class emergency and more like an execution, with Deculein fighting the monster and the inherited rage at the same time. The quest resolves with store currency, and defeating the first demon unlocks the Deculein attribute as a new part of Deculein's power.
Even at the moment of your death, you vile creature, you leave corruption behind.
The demon's appearance means the real story is starting to move without the player's control. Under the moonlit trees, Deculein stands over the fallen demon, knowing this world can now create danger beyond the roots he remembers. Epherene wakes at the Academy clinic after the Mountain of Darkness incident, not in the forest where she last remembers hearing a cry for help. The nurse tells her she is awake at last, and the first thing Epherene can do is panic because the missing time feels wrong.
What happened? I was in the woods.
The answer is worse than a simple accident. A demon appeared in the Mountain of Darkness the night before. Epherene had been under its bewitchment and passed out before she could understand the trap. What bothers her is not only the danger, it is the fact that she remembers needing help and waking up after someone else solved it. She was found later and moved to the clinic while the Magic Tower began investigating the entire incident. The nurse adds that Deculein was the one who saved her, and Epherene's first reaction is resentment instead of relief.
Nuo, not him again.
What day is today, by the way?
When she hears it is Wednesday, the clock turns the demon incident into a different crisis. She is late for class.
I am late.
She reaches the lecture room breathless, barely able to stand, but still determined not to miss Deculein's class. The rush matters because Deculein's class is where her revenge, pride, and future all keep colliding at once.
Root. Over here.
Her friends ask if she is all right after missing the clinic visit, and Epherene tries to pretend she only overslept.
I'm all right. I'm in the best condition possible because of all the sleep I got.
Deculein enters with Alan beside him, and the room's attention shifts from Epherene's condition to the new face at the front.
There is an announcement before I start the lecture. This is Alan. He will be my teaching assistant.
The students whisper because Deculein supposedly preferred to teach alone, which makes Alan's promotion feel strange to everyone. For Epherene, it is not gossip. Alan receiving a chance cuts into the old wound left by her father never receiving one. Epherene understands the problem immediately. Without a teaching assistant, a student cannot pass the professor evaluation route.
That makes sense. My father was a researcher at 30 years old, but Deculein never gave him a chance. So why did Deculein suddenly take in a male 5 years younger than father as one Ru?
Today's lecture will be on learning by experience. Try to solve the task in these 3 hours.
There is no long explanation and no comforting setup. Deculein turns the lecture into a timed test and leaves each student alone with the result.
Here is your timer. You too.
Iberkijis and Pochikiv, Meredate. I always asked myself whenever I looked at it, who was my father to Deculein?
That question keeps pulling her away from the assignment, even as the timer starts and the classroom fills with magic.
Why is he doing all these nice things now? No, focus. I need to finish my task. I need to think of a spell quickly.
Her mind refuses to stay still. Every thread leads back to Deculein, her father, the bracelet, and the strange kindness she cannot trust. The bracelet should be a reminder of what she inherited, but today it feels like proof that she still does not understand the person she is trying to surpass. Then Sylvia finishes in 25 minutes and 15 seconds, turning the test into a public comparison before Epherene has even stabilized. Sylvia does not have to explain herself or struggle in public. She simply completes the answer, and that silence makes Epherene feel even smaller. The class reacts because it is Sylvia, of course, and her talent makes the task look effortless.
Perfect. You may leave.
Sylvia leaves with that quiet smile, and Epherine's frustration hardens because the gap between them feels enormous.
No, I need to get this done too.
One after another, Deculein dismisses the students who complete the task. Julia, Leon, Retin, Barhan, and even Can. Each name leaving the room becomes another measure of Epherine's failure, until the lesson feels less like practice and more like exposure. Hours pass until almost no one remains, and Epherene is still stuck at her desk with the same unfinished magic.
One was this deep.
Please, think of something, please.
She is no longer solving a spell calmly. She is begging her own mind to move before the last proof of her confidence disappears.
Not only do I not do better than that woman Sylvia, I am the only one who failed to do anything until the end of the lesson. We all love Miss Mshoop with this, but the so seem curious to is Gliamate for you with deepre something this when Shupalam to some Shuplasi, H for. I did not know better. Revenge, I did not even go to the academy. I cannot compete at all.
5 hours and 47 minutes have passed. The classroom is dark, and Epherene is still alone with the failed assignment.
How long do you intend on making me wait?
Deculein, he is still here?
You had a breakdown over an easy assignment and could not finish it in time.
I am sorry.
The apology is small because she has nothing else left to offer. Deculein does not accept it as an answer.
Even if someone laughs at you, even if someone is ahead of you, you must be cold and logical at all times.
He is not softening the insult. He is narrowing it to the exact weakness that made her freeze.
Even if the person you resent is right in front of you.
That line lands because both of them know who he means. Deculein is not asking her to forgive him. He is telling her revenge without control is useless.
You will never get to my level with such a weak mind.
The judgment leaves no room for excuses, and that is why it hurts more than a simple scolding.
I am disappointed, Epherene. I thought you were better than that.
The words land harder than any grade. Epherene stands in the empty room with the person she hates telling her exactly where she failed. Her fist tightens around the bracelet, and the shame starts turning into something more useful than panic.
So what?
Even if someone like you is disappointed in me, I can do this.
I will do it.
The spell is still hard and Deculein is still watching, but the fear that froze her is finally losing its grip.
No matter what it takes.
The assignment is still unfinished, but Epherine's collapse has finally become resolve, and the class ends with her refusing to stay broken. After the long classroom night, Deculein watches from the shadow of the academy window and decides the extra time spent on Epherene was worth the cost.
I spent over 6 hours on Epherene, but that was a necessary cost. She needs to grow for what is to come. The demon at the Mountain of Darkness proved the main quest will begin soon.
Once the age of overwhelming evil arrives, named characters with good alignment will appear in the main quest, and Epherene will be among the stronger ones. Right now, she lacks mental fortitude and the sensitivity of a mage, but her growth can become overwhelming if she overcomes those flaws.
That growth may become a danger to me, but I will not let that happen. Fate is nothing more than a religion for those who do not put in effort. I believe only in myself.
That is also why he cannot allow a debutante to catch up to him easily. Pride and survival point in the same direction. When he hears movement, he turns back toward the classroom and finds Epherene still pushing herself forward. Her magic finally takes shape, rough but alive, and Deculein stays long enough to see the result instead of leaving her failure behind. After 6 hours and 25 minutes, Epherene completes the assignment.
She perfectly displays the innate flaws of a non-academy graduate. However, the quality of the result is worthy of contesting for first place.
The side quest completes, giving him another store currency and confirming that pushing Epherene onto her path was the right move. Now that Epherene has returned, Deculein starts back to his residence, only for another danger to find him first.
It has been a long time.
The huge man laughs like an old friend, but Deculein recognizes the name with immediate alarm. Zeit.
What is he doing here?
Zeit van Bruggen Freyden is the current head of the Freyden family and Julie's older brother. He is also one of the people who strongly pushed Deculein and Julie's betrothal, which makes his friendly smile feel dangerous. Even worse, Zeit is a named character with tremendous combat strength, ranked 3rd among initial combat monsters.
Why would someone like that come looking for me? Could it be because of Julie's snowflake stone? If so, this situation could be a death variable. I do not have countermeasures against this monster.
What a pleasure it is to see you like this. I heard you and Julie have not been getting along, so I was rather worried.
The concern sounds friendly, but Deculein hears the trap underneath it. Zeit is not asking for a report, he is arranging control.
As such, I am thinking of arranging dinner this week. That is fine with you, right, Divs?
Before Deculein can refuse cleanly, Zeit takes his hand like the decision has already been made.
A quick decision. I like that. I have prepared the menu to suit your tastes, so just come.
Deculein has not agreed in any meaningful way, but Zeit treats silence like consent and keeps moving before refusal can form.
Then I will see you at dinner.
Zeit does not even give him the opportunity to refuse. In truth, he makes it impossible to refuse. Zeit holds his household above all else, and interfering with his plans could end very badly.
It seems I will be unable to cancel this appointment.
The next day at the Freyden household, Julie refuses the dinner before it can begin.
I refuse.
The refusal is childish on the surface, but it comes from a wound Zeit understands and intends to press anyway.
We both hate each other. Besides, I am busy training the knights, so I do not have time to meet him.
Julie is trying to make the refusal sound practical, but the anger behind it is too obvious for Zeit to ignore.
Are you sulking just because you had one measly snowflake stone stolen from you?
The jab is deliberate, and the implication lands before Zeit explains the stone as Deculein's supposed gift.
Why else would he have purchased metal that would only be of use when made into a weapon, if not for you?
Zeit's question corners her from the other side. If the stone was meant for a sword, then even Deculein's insult can be dressed up as devotion.
If he really were to present me with a sword, then I would immediately break off the engagement.
Julie, think carefully.
The room changes at once. Zeit's smile drops into the pressure of a family head whose decision is not a suggestion.
I told you the other day that doing so would be foolish. I am sure I told you there is no place for emotions in politics.
Zeit stops teasing and speaks as the head of the household, making it clear that Julie's feelings are not enough to move policy.
As far as I know, no man loves you that much. Have you taken a liking to someone?
It has nothing to do with that.
Julie denies the personal wound, but that only gives Zeit room to turn the question back into obedience.
Then just why? Make sure to come on time. If there is a problem, let us settle it then.
Julie leaves the conversation looking trapped between family duty, political marriage, and her hatred of Deculein. The anger does not disappear. It follows her into training, where her sword cuts through the air with enough force to shake the yard. Her strike tears through the practice space, and the violence in it proves she is not only sulking over a stone. Her control slips for a heartbeat, and the blade flashes close enough to force an intervention.
Your sword is rather turbulent, my liege.
Veron names the danger gently, careful to protect Julie without accusing her while she still holds the blade.
Veron.
Veron of Hakton, Julie's subordinate, stands before her with absolute loyalty and no fear of the blade.
My apologies. I have shown you a disgraceful side of myself.
Not at all. I understand, my liege.
His answer carries more than politeness. Veron understands why Deculein and the forced marriage make Julie lose her composure.
To begin with, I do not believe you should have to marry such a vile man. It is enough that the household keeps forcing this marriage on you.
Veron stops himself from going further because loyalty to Julie also means staying within the discipline she expects from a knight.
It does not suit a knight to speak ill of another behind their back.
Even his restraint is a promise. If he cannot insult Deculein behind Julie's back, then he needs another way to protect her.
Do not dirty your hands for my sake. I am fine. I am heading back. Get ready.
Yes, my liege.
For Veron, that restraint gives him an answer to the anguish he has carried.
It is something only I can do. I have found a way to prove my loyalty as your vassal. I will make you happy, my liege.